Welcome to the very first video of Sledgendary Travels. I'm Steve, but she calls me Sledge.
And I'm Tina, and he calls me Teach. We've just finished our jobs after many years, and we've decided that we're going to be having some fun trips over the next few months and beyond. On the last day that we worked, our grown-up kids, they took us out for a meal, and they came up with the name Sledgendary Travels for our channel because our name is Sledger.
My concern is that the output's going to be far from legendary, but you know, you've got to start somewhere, right? It's really a word of warning because this is the first time that we've ever done any filming, certainly ever done any editing and voiceovers and everything like that, and the very first time that we've ever put anything onto YouTube.
Anyway, our first trip was to Taghazout in Morocco, which is some way up the coast from Agadir on the Atlantic. We flew on the BA inaugural flight to Agadir, which was a coincidence, but it somehow heralded new beginnings for us, so it was appropriate.
Yeah, it was. And then when we arrived at the airport in Agadir, we got a cab to our hotel, which is on Taghazout Bay. That's about 27 miles, and it cost 320 dirham, which is about £39, and it took about an hour.
I'd been to Agadir with my family in my late teens, so I was curious to see how the whole area had changed after so many years.
Are we ready?
Let's go.
Let's roll the very first film of Sledgendary Travels. Our first morning in Taghazout, and we've woken up to a beautiful blue sky, and this is the coast. This is the Atlantic. We're just up from Agadir. It's a beautiful bay. There's nice surf coming off, and I guess later on there'll be people surfing. But a lovely vista heading up towards the village of Taghazout, which I think you can just see there in the background. We went there last night. Looking forward to exploring the vibe a bit more today. But a really nice little fishing village that looks like it's full of nice cafes. We had a lovely Buddha bowl, really cheap. Probably, I think it was about less than £20 altogether for 2 Buddha bowls and some drinks. So looking forward to seeing some more of those sort of places. I think we're going to stroll in later on this morning or early afternoon to suss out the yoga. There's lots of yoga studios there, so we're keen on doing some this week. And there's also a thing called hammam, I think hammam or haman, which is the local massage and hot stone treatment and things like that. And there's studios for that, so we're looking forward to booking some of that. It looked pretty cheap as well online, so I think overall it's going to be a brilliant place to base ourselves. I'll come back later on in the week in terms of getting to Agadir, because we're going to have a day down there, but really this holiday is all about relaxation. We're walking now on the really well-made path into Taghazout, the village, which we came to last night, but now we're coming a bit earlier and we're going to have a look around. And this is the scene as you come in. I don't know if it can come out on the camera there, but there's loads of people who are surfing and chilling out on the beach. And around this side It's just kind of open, sort of scrubby desert, but really beautiful as well. Lovely cactus along here. And for us, it's 1.9 miles into town. Really, really beautiful.
Hiya. 1.9 kilometres, I think it is.
Oh, did I say?
It's not as far as 2 miles.
Oh no, 2 kilometres.
Just enjoying our first full day, settling in, and we've got the most glorious weather. There's not a cloud in the sky. Hopefully it's going to remain like that for the next few days as well.
The light is just perfect here. You can hear the waves crashing into the rocks. And there must be 20 or 30 surfers out there just as the sun is going to go down. Down by the sea now, right in the centre of the old fishing village of Taghazout, and this is just fabulous. So many different colours, beautiful blue and white boats, and as you scan round you go up and you see the guest houses up there with all the lovely balconies there looking out onto the sunset, which is scan round to now. And there it is, and there's all the surfers out there. Amazing spot. This is the coastal walkway in Taghazout. It's still a working fishing village, but it's now mostly dominated by the surf scene. There's a young multinational crowd carrying their surfboards through the streets, and in the evenings you can see their wetsuits hanging off the balconies to dry. There's loads of restaurants and cafes, and eating out is really cheap. There's also street food on the main road. One night I had a chicken sandwich, which is freshly grilled chicken with salad in Moroccan bread, and it only cost 15 dirhams, which is £1.25. And there's also lovely Arabic cakes, and they're only 5 dirhams or 40p. The restaurants aren't very expensive either, although in our experience the quality was a bit variable. The restaurants to the left of this path overlook the sea and are a bit more expensive, but it's a wonderful spot, particularly at sunset. But you do need to get there early because obviously the tables get taken quite quickly. It's also worth saying that Tina's diet is gluten and dairy free, and we found it very difficult to be sure that the food was okay for her. In all the restaurants we tried, and even in our hotel, not only was nothing marked up on the menu, but the staff didn't seem to understand food allergies or even care. So she ended up eating very basic food all week, although that in itself was quite cleansing. Overall, we enjoyed the village, especially in the evenings with the buzz of the cafes, some nice craft stores, and the very relaxed vibe. So after a couple of beach days, we're now going to head off to Agadir for the first time. We're going to head to a shop called Biosphere Space or something like that, but I'll film that when we get there. To get some gluten and dairy free stuff for Tina, and then we're going to head into the main souk and see what all that's about. it seems to have opened up now into a bit of a courtyard. And it kind of looks like old Arabia again. Of course it isn't, because this is only built in. It was only built in 1960 after the earthquake. But lots going on. There's people making orange juice. There's loads of different things being sold. It's just really nice atmosphere, and it's full of locals. There's not that many tourists around. Really great spot. Okay, so we're in a kind of a typical spice store now, still in the souk.
Yes. Here we have the first one. This it's paprika, sweet paprika.
Yeah, we have that at home. Yeah, beautiful.
Paprika.
Yeah.
And here we have turmeric. Turmeric we cut and we put it in the machine. And after we make me powder like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And after this is chili. This we take in the flour for chili,
Yeah.
and we put it in the sun for dry, and after we make it in the machine.
Yeah.
And we put in the like this powder. And here we have the mixed for chicken. His name curry. This we use it for chicken.
For chicken curry.
Chicken curry. This one. And here we have the
Different for fish and chicken.
yes, different. Here we don't use it cumin. Cumin, and here we use it cumin and cumin, ginger, turmeric, chili, and paprika and coriander.
And that brings out the flavour of the fish.
Yes, and also the
reason.
yes.
Yeah.
And here this for the fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here we have the specialty mixed. His name Rast Hanout, 45 spices. We use it for all. We have for tagine, couscous, meat, and vegetable. This one.
Yeah. Yeah, also lovely.
And here we have
Saffron,
this is saffron.
of course.
Moroccan saffron. It's famous in the world. And this is cumin.
Cumin, yeah.
We have coriander. And this black seed. Black seed, if you have problem with the cough, you take little bit with hot milk,
Yeah.
you boil it and you drink.
Okay.
The 5 minutes,
A bit like the eucalyptus.
like the eucalyptus, but this eucalyptus we don't drink.
Right.
This one.
No, we don't. We just inhale it.
Just inhale it
this
and
is-
also for massage.
This is the eucalyptus that we're going to buy. So the demonstration was with some hot water. You just hold it over, yeah.
And inhale it.
Inhale it. Don't drink it.
You drink this one, you visit Allah.
Yeah. And this is good for snoring.
Snoring also.
Yeah.
If you have problem
Big-
with music in the night, this it's bye bye.
Big news for Tina. This one. I'm going to be using this to cure my my snoring, and it was also for
And also if you have problem with the cough,
yeah.
you take hot water, and you inhale it, but you read your mouth like this.
Okay. Yeah.
No drink.
So you get the vapors,
Yes.
the particles. Yeah.
This one.
Good. Thank you very
Nice
much.
to meet you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. So we're now in Tamraght, I think it's pronounced, which is a town just a couple of miles along the coast back towards Agadir from Taghazout near the hotel. We got a taxi up here from the same guy that took us into Agadir. and we've had a hammam, and it was the craziest afternoon. We had 2 hours. Basically, I looked at it on Wikipedia and couldn't really work out what it was, other than it seems to be the thing to do. It was described as a Turkish bath, and that was as far as I got, so I really didn't know what to expect. But what happened was we arrived at a recommended place here, which was just closed now for the night, and we got taken to a room. We had to take all our clothes off, put all our stuff in a locker, and then we were taken through to this tiled room with 2 concrete benches that were attached to the sides of the walls, and it was all very wet inside. And there was a big Mandy type container that was being filled with hot water. And then this big lady came in. She got a couple of Mandis, she threw it over us, and then she got this glue and she put it on us like this, and then she disappeared. She told us to lie down, and then she disappeared, and we thought that was the hammam. And we paid 200 each for this, which is £16 each. And we thought, well, maybe this is all we've ordered, and this is all we're going to get. And the time went on, and this Mandy was getting filled up with hot water. And so eventually we decided to turn it off. We thought it was a waste of water. And I think that in itself was supposed to be part of the experience, that it was filling up the room with steam. But the reality was, all that was happening was we were getting this condensation, cold water falling on our bodies, apart from our pants and boxer shorts. Anyway, eventually she came back with these. Oh yeah, no, that's right. We decided to turn. Tina suggested we turn the tap back on, so we did. And they got a little bit steamy, but not really. It was actually quite cold. And then eventually, anyway, she came back. She got out this knit that was quite rough, and then she actually gave us a really nice body rub. And that lasted 2 or 3 minutes, or 5 minutes probably. We washed our hair, which was really nice, in some oily substance. And then it was good, wasn't it? Yeah. And then that was it. And that was the end of the hammam, and we stayed in there a few more minutes. And then what happened next was someone came out and took us upstairs to a traditional massage bed, and we had the most amazing 1-hour massage from these 2 little Arabic girls. Really, really beautiful experience, lots of lovely oil. The whole thing was amazing. So it cost us 400 each, which Tina paid for. Thank you very much, Tina. And then we tipped a bit as well, both to the lady who gave us the hammam and the wonderful ladies who did the massage. So it was a beautiful afternoon. And these 3 Shiams have been with me the whole of the time I've been talking. They look like they've had a damn good hammam and massage as well, because they're definitely up for the count. But let sleeping dogs lie. So the trip's pretty much coming to an end. This is the last full day we've got in Taghazout, and we're flying back to the UK tomorrow lunchtime. So, we were talking, Tinch and I, last night, just reflecting on sort of the good bits and the not so good bits about Morocco. I think number one has to be that it's a really, really friendly place. Most of the Arabic countries we've been to in the world, particularly in the Gulf, have been really friendly, and this is no exception. I would say mostly people have been lovely and gone out their way to be kind to us. I guess the key thing for Morocco, and down here in particular near Agadir, is just culturally it's so different to what we're used to in Europe, and the fact that you can get here in 3.5 hours. For us, we've experienced Ramadan while we've been here, and how that's worked for the people. We've had that beautiful hammam massage that we had yesterday. The food's interesting, so it's such a fantastic opportunity with a relatively short flight and no jet lag to be able to experience something completely different. What else? It's a really safe place. So we walked every evening in the dark, just on sort of lit paths, back from Taghazout to our hotel on Taghazout Bay, and never felt concerned. And then finally, it's cheap. And we haven't had to spend a huge amount of money on dinner. You can normally get very well fed for about 250 to 300 dirhams for an evening meal. The juices are lovely and really cheap. And then I suppose the other thing is, there's a refreshing absence of alcohol. So there's no alcohol-related social issues, should we say? No noisy, drunken behaviour that some might find intimidating. The cafes are lovely, but they're not loud from people drinking too much, if you know what I mean. So on the flip side, and just to share with you some of the things that we found not so much challenging as perhaps not as good as other parts of Morocco, I think it's absolutely fair to say, and even the Moroccans and the people from Agadir would accept that the city of Agadir isn't as beautiful as the likes of Marrakesh and Fez, because of the earthquake that devastated it in 1960. So they've done a marvellous job of rebuilding a Medina, rebuilding the souk, and we had a lovely experience in there. But it's not, if you're coming here, it's not that classic Indiana Jones type Arabic experience. The only final thing I think is worth saying, and we experienced this when we went to Marrakesh a few years ago, not a big problem, but it's the only place we've ever been where the English language isn't either the first language spoken or is it the second. So the first language is obviously Arabic here, second is French. A lot of people don't speak very good English, so if you speak a bit of French, then not only does that help to ingratiate you with the locals, but it's also sometimes a necessity. So shopkeepers and cafe owners and taxi drivers often don't speak good English, so come prepared for that as well. So here we are back at Agadir Airport at the end of the week's trip. It was only ever really intended to be a fly and flop trip. After we got to the end of our jobs and we've both taken a career break, but really hope you enjoyed it. Not so much going on, I suppose, because because it was just really a beach holiday. But the next one we got planned is a big road trip from London to Slovenia and stopping in lots of places on the way. So really looking forward to going on that trip and making a film. Thank you for putting up with my amateurish commentaries, editing and filming. And this is the inaugural one, and I hope we'll get better as we go. But thanks again, and see you in a few weeks.